the first block, and the first unit. Unit 1, block 1. And it is about parametric and non-parametric statistics. Now, whenever we are interested in any kind of research, particularly quantitative research, we are supposed to use statistics for our data analysis and interpretation of findings. And when we think of using statistics in parametric statistics in research, we have two options. One is parametric statistics, and the other one is non-parametric statistics. In fact, parametric statistics are more powerful statistics for the purpose of research, but because it has some stringent assumptions, very difficult assumptions to meet with about the data and variable, therefore, if we are not getting the option to use parametric statistics, then we go for some equivalent non-parametric statistics. First of all, about the assumptions of parametric statistics, we should know that the data or the variable on which we have the measurements, it has to be it has an assumption that data is to be normally distributed in the population. That is, nature of distribution is assumed to be using for parametric statistics. If it is not normally distributed, then we cannot use parametric statistics. Similarly, we have different kinds of scales for measurement of behavioral data, psychological data, or any data in social science. And those measurements are of four different types: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. I'm telling you about the difference in parametric, some differences about parametric and non-parametric statistics. And nominal scale means it is just an identifying scale. It has no magnitude, no direction. For example, for some purpose, if you say that if you are a male, write 1, if you are a female, write 2, and if you are others, write 3. This is a scale 1, 2, 3. But this is in nominal scale, because in this scale of representation, 3 is not greater than 2 or 2 is not greater than 1. There is no direction of difference. And magnitude also. It doesn't implicate any magnitude of difference. Similarly also, when you have the second level of scale, we call it ordinal scale. It has only direction of difference, but no magnitude. These are the two lower level scales, nominal and then ordinal scale. That those things are there in your course I am discussing. And then ordinal scale is having only direction of difference, but no magnitude of difference. For example, if you come to know that someone stood first in the class, someone second, someone third in the class, you can only say that the first one is better than the second, and second one is better than the third. But how much first one is better than the second, you cannot say. The extent of difference among them, you cannot say. Or how much second is different from third, you cannot say. That means you can know only direction, but no magnitude of difference. And similarly, at the third level, the scale is called interval scale. And interval scale, there is both available, magnitude of difference is available, and direction of difference is available. That means you can say who is better than the other, and you can also say how much he or she is better than the other. That is magnitude. For example, you have marks of 10 students in mathematics. Someone having 70, someone having 65, someone having 50, and you can say who among them is best, who is the next best. You can know that direction. And also you can say how much the first one is different from second. Suppose in 70%, 65%. You can say there is a difference of 5%. And says the third one is 55%. You can say there is a difference of 10%. That means both magnitude and direction is available. But the weakness of this scale is that it has no absolute zero. And the differences are not also, magnitude of difference are also not equal. For example, if someone has secured 0 marks in mathematics in class 10, it does not imply that he has no absolute idea or absolute knowledge about mathematics. Zero also indicates some degree of the presence of that variable. That is no absolute zero. And scales are also not in equal interval. Supposing someone has secured 30 and someone has secured 60. You cannot say that the person who has secured 60 is twice as good exactly than the person 1. 30 is not just half of the 60 with respect to the ability of the person. One who has scored 60 in mathematics and another 30 in mathematics, you cannot claim that 60 is just twice as good as 30. That means scale differences are not in equal terms. And then finally, the ratio scale, the best of the scales, which has all those four qualities, that is degree, direction of the difference, magnitude of difference, absolute zero, and then equal appearing interval, equal intervals. For example, let us say height of a person, height of people. If you say height is zero, it is meaningless. Zero means no height, no person exists. That is an absolute zero for anything. And if you say someone is 3 feet height and someone is 6 feet height, you can clearly say that 6 feet height person is twice as tall as the 3 feet person. That means there is both magnitude, direction, zero value, and all that. And this scaling is, and in psychology and other behavioral sciences, we use our data in any of these scales. As per our requirement, as per our design, as per our research, we use nominal scale or ordinal scale or interval scale or ratio scale. But if the scale is not at least in interval scale, at least, it may, if it is ratio scale, it is well and good. But if it is not at least in interval scale, we cannot use parametric statistics. That means two major assumptions of parametric statistics. One is normality of distribution of the data, and the second one is scale used should be at least interval. And when these conditions are not satisfied, or these assumptions are not fulfilled with respect to our data, we cannot use parametric statistics. We are denied to use. We cannot use parametric. And therefore, we have the other option, although a weaker level of that statistical process, but we have the other option. And in many situations, non-parametric statistics help us to get our hypothesis testing. Usually, we do statistical analysis or use statistics for hypothesis testing in our research, and that is non-parametric statistics help us. And today, we will be discussing, gradually, we will be discussing parametric and non-parametric statistics. Here also, let me tell you another distinction in the psychology, in the statistics, is descriptive and inferential statistics. Basic ideas I'm giving you about the foundation of statistics, descriptive and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics are used when we want to refer any, our interest is any specific group we are interested about. Supposing I am interested about a class, the performance of students in a class, then I can use descriptive statistics. For example, I say that the mean performance is 55. Mean is a descriptive statistics. By saying the mean, I say something about the group in the class. Similarly, there are other mean, median, mode. Those are called central tendency. Those are some kinds of descriptive statistics which we use about a group description. Similarly, there are these are called measures of central tendency. Similarly, there are also measures of variability, which we call standard deviation, average deviation, quartile deviation, range, like that. And then there are graphs, diagrams, charts, which can describe our facts or statistical data very well. Those are called descriptive statistics. But sometimes we want to go beyond those descriptive statistics in order to give some inferences about some greater number of people. For example, population, which we call population. For example, we are interested to know how are the class 4 students in Odisha doing in language subjects. And then we have a defined population about all class 4 students of Odisha, which may be about 10 lakhs. And we don't have that resources to deal with all those 10 lakhs of people. Then what we do, we make a sample, find out a sample from them representing that population, do our statistical processes or data analysis or research processes on the sample, and then from that sample, by the help of some statistical processes, we infer about the whole population. By knowing about 500 students of class 4, we can say this is what is the state of affairs of all students in Odisha. That means we are extending our descriptive statistics beyond to a larger section of population. And those kind of statistics are inferential statistics. And these statistics are very useful and helpful. Inferential statistics all these things are there. We will be discussing in detail. And today we will be discussing about some types of common and useful non non-parametric statistics. That is our purpose today. I have discussed, told you about what is parametric statistics, what is non-parametric statistics, and now difference of parametric and non-parametric statistics. You have to go through your book and other things to know details about that. Now, assumptions of parametric statistics and non-parametric statistics, these are some of the contents of your syllabus. But you have another important thing to know about the calculation or about the methods of computing different statistics. That I will be telling. That is the most important part. I will be helping you in that. And assumptions of, assumptions of non-parametric statistics, and then advantages of non-parametric statistics. In nutshell, I have told, when data is not available in as per the requirement of parametric, we can take the help of non-parametric. Non-parametric is also a very useful approach to understanding or testing hypothesis. Now, disadvantage, parametric statistics for different samples. Parametric statistics we will be discussing later on. And now, for non-parametric statistics, we have to go for different kinds of statistical procedures. And about non-parametric statistics, some important non-parametric statistics are chi-square test. I will be telling what is chi-square test and where you are supposed to use it and how to use it. Some Mann-Whitney test. There are parametric parallels also, but Mann-Whitney test, Kroskal-Wallis H test, and like that. There are some others also. Today, I will be telling you how to calculate and how to use these kind of non-parametric statistics for your purpose of undertaking any kind of research. Now, I will be now with this kind of background explanation about parametric and non-parametric statistics. Now I am moving to computation of different non-parametric statistics. Computation is more important because it will be there in your question. You will get questions on computations also. Therefore, you need to know. That is now. Now, let us begin with the non-parametric statistics chi-square test. Chi-square test is one of the very frequently used non-parametric tests to help you understand about the group differences, group relationships, and some other things like that. Goodness of fit of a data, like that. Let me tell you. And it has some assumptions. This is the material. If you have a question on chi-square test, you can have these kind of things. The chi-square test is intended to test how likely it is that an observed distribution is due to chance. It is also called a goodness of fit statistics because it measures how well the observed distribution of data fits with the distribution that is expected if the variable is variables and independent. It is actually a kind of statistics which help you the characteristics of the distribution of data. That is how I'll be telling. Let me first go to the practical aspect or the calculation aspect. Then I will tell you what is that. Now, where you are supposed to use the chi-square test, what kind of issue is there when you are supposed to use the chi-square test? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, chi-square test, one of the important non-parametric test, and it is used for verifying the quality and the characteristics of any distribution. Now, let me give you an example. In the following table, 430 persons are classified with respect to their dominance of hand and eye. Determine if there is any relationship between the dominance of eye and hand. One situation I am telling where you are supposed to use chi-square test. Now, people have dominance with respect to their eyes. Someone is dominant with right eye, someone is dominant in the left eye. That you know. Some people are there, they cannot make blink in right eye, but they can make blink in left eye. Some are there who can make blink in right, but not in left. That means every individual has some dominance with respect to some eyes. And some people have also dominance in both eyes. They can equally manipulate right eye and left eye. Supposing this is an issue, and we can call them a group. Those who are dominant in left eye, we can call them as left-eyed. Those who are dominant in right eye, we can call them as right-eyed. And those who are dominant in both eyes, we can call them as ambiocular. Right-eyed, left-eyed, ambiocular. I hope you are understanding the design of this. Any problem you can ask. Right eye means your right eye is dominant and you can do better in right eye. Left eye means your left eye is dominant, you can do better things in left eye. And ambiocular means you are equally dominant in both eyes, or both your eyes are equally dominant. Now, similarly also, some people are left-handed, they are dominant with their left hand, they are better with their left hand. Some people are better with their right hand, and there are people who are equally better in both hands. If this is the situation, now you may have a question. Is there any connection between eyedness and handedness? Do eyedness determine handedness or handedness determine eyedness? If this is your question, you want to find out the answer to this question, whether eyedness and handedness they're related, then what you can do. This is about the data. Then here the suggestion for you is to go for a chi-square test. And by finding the result of that chi-square test, you can determine whether right eye, left eye, eyedness is related to handedness, or handedness is different and eyedness is, there is no connection between rightness, handedness and eyedness. That is your research issue or problem or question. Now, you see a table, and this kind of analysis in chi-square test, we call it contingency table. The name of that particular aspect is called contingency table. Now, you see the table, contingency table 1 in your screen. You see the black numbers written in given in black are the frequency about their supposing left-handed and left-eyed, first column and first cell in the first column, left-handed and left-eyed. How many people are there? Those who are left-handed and left-eyed. Kete?
34.
34. Similarly, left-handed and ambiocular.
62.
62. I hope all of you understand. Similarly, ambidextrous and ambiocular.
28.
Kete? 20.
28.
20. Now this is your question. Red part is not in your question. The red part is your calculation part. Your question will cover only 34, 62, 28, 27, 28, 20, 57, 105, 52. Now this is the question given to you, and your hypothesis is to say whether there is any relationship between eyedness and handedness. Now what you have to do? You have to go for calculating. तमे रखिछ जदि मु तुमको मेसेज देइथिली जे कैलकुलेटर पाखे रखिबा पई एवं कागज रखिबा पई. Now if you have to find out the chi-square of this data, red part you forget, it's calculation part. This is the formula, this is the sign for chi-square. It is not x square, it is a different sign. This sign gives you the sign of chi-square. Chi-square, do you see here? This is the sign of chi-square. Chi-square is equal to sigma OE square minus E. This is the formula for chi-square. Or you can write anything, any question. This is the simple formula for calculating chi-square. Chi-square is equal to sigma O minus E square by E. I will be telling what is O, what is E, those things. But first you see the formula. Now, this given data is your O, FO. You can call it O. 34, 62, 28. These are all O. Do you get it? And now E is expected, O is observed frequency, and E is expected frequency. Here the observed frequency in the first cell is left-eyed, left-handed. Observed is how much?
34.
34. Observed is 34. What is the observed frequency in the second cell?
62.
Like that. These are all observed frequencies. So you have the observed frequencies given in your question, in your data. Now you have to find out what is the requirement, E, or expected frequency for each cell. And expected frequency is to be calculated. The formula is row total RT into column total CT divided by grand total. For every cell, you have to find out the expected frequency by this formula. Row total into column total by grand total. Now, what is the row total of these three? See, 34, 62, 28. Misle kete hochi?
124. 124.
माने मु लेखि देछि बिली कहउछ ना नाही तमे करि कि देखुछ
और करूछ.
Now this is 124 row total. Similarly, for 34, what is the column total? 34, 70, 27, 57. What is the column total?
118.
118.
118. Calculator रखी करूछ तो?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, row total या पाई 34 पाई expected frequency बाहर करो. Row total means 124, column total means 118, 124 into 118. Now what is the grand total? This is a grand total माने all rows मिसी जीवो किंबा all column मिसी जीवो जोटा हेले rows रे मिसेई देले भी grand बाहरी पड़िबो column रे मिसेई देले भी grand बाहरी पड़िबो बुझियला ना नाही रो टोटल कोन column total कोन grand total कोन
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
वर्तमान
Yes, sir.
मते दी तीनटा सेल चेक करी करी को जे वेदर बाय कैलकुलेशन इज राइट और रॉन्ग एटा चेक करो केसे मु तो ना देखि पारुनी एटा को चेक करो ठीक अछि ना यार रो टोटल केते 28 रो रो टोटल केते केते व्हाट इज द रो टोटल ऑफ 28
75.
75 column total
195.
195 now 75 into 195 divided by
195.
195
No.
grand total always grand total is this
413.
413.
ah 75 into 195 by
Sir, 35.411.
35.4 is right 411 second decimal छाड़ दियो वर्तमान এই কলমটার বাহার করো 28 रो दी तीनटा चेक कर दियो समस्ते जे जोटा चेक करछि मते कुहो टोटी ता चेक कलो कोन कैलकुलेटर
Sir, 30.
Sir,
30.02.
30 आउ के कोन चेक कलो
sir, column टा हैला 100 और रो सॉरी रो टा हैला 100 और column टा हैला 2154.
रोटा हला 214
हाँ सर
उल्टा कोन को
टोटल टा हैला 51.51.
51 मोर 8 हिची आउ थर देखिलो मोर कोन 8 हिची 51.8 हिची 100 into 214 divided by 413
सर मु कहली 51.81.
हां 51 कहले 81 हां हला 81 माने 8 now I think all of you understood how to find out the expected frequency observed frequencies are there you have to find out the expected frequency sorry hala now all those things you require in the formula O, E and E these are all available any question
No, sir.
no now for each cell you find out the value of this O minus E here O minus E square kete यार बाहर करो value chi square value ei cell ro chi square value बाहर करो with this formula O minus E ro square by E tell me what is that किए जने करो ना समस्त करो मते जने दियो को O minus E square O minus E means kete O is for a cell O kete
34.
E a cell ro
35.4.
E kete
35.4.
35.4 हाँ then 34 minus 35.4 is equal to minus 1.4 1.4 और स्क्वायर बाहर करो स्क्वायर बाहर करी ताको डिवाइड करो 35.4 रे केते वैल्यू हैला मते कुहो
0.05, sir. 0.05.
0.0055 हाँ एटी थर्ड डेसिमल पंत रख
Okay, sir.
0.05 एटी मु कैलकुलेशन करिछि एटा देखो मु रेड कर देली एटा 34 माइनस 35.4 रो स्क्वायर एमती तुमको करिया को पड़िबो सेकंड 62 माइनस 58.5 रो स्क्वायर बाय 50 0.299 ये सब सेल रे एमती बाहर करिया को पड़िबो This is how you have to do it in the examination. एठी सब बाहर करिछि ई गुडा को 1 2 3 4 सब बाहर करिछि नाउ chi square value सब सेल रो बाहरला हला any doubt about how to find out the cell chi square value कहार किछि पचरिबार अछि कि परीक्षा रे chi square प्रश्न कंटीजेंसी टेबल पढिबार संभावना हैं को
No, sir.
नहीं आउ कहार पचरिबार अछि कि ना बुझिलो
Yes, sir.
कौन पचरिबो को किछि पचर सोनाली किछि पचरिबार अछि
No, sir.
वर्तमान given any question you can calculate the chi now once you get these values cell chi square values 0.055 plus 0.209 plus 0.133 plus 1.465 1.54 like that you add all of them that is sigma all these things ए जत्ते value आसला सबु मिसी जिवो and once you add you see that it becomes 4.006 total ta 4.006 abo and now your chi square is 4.006 any doubt about this calculation पढ़िया को पड़िबो otherwise it will have theory परे ता संगे संगे परे पढ़ेबी along with that आगो केछि calculation पढ़ि देला परे मु theory उडा को पढ़े मन तार theoretical जिंस theoretical बुझि परिबो तमे बही पढ़िले बुझि परिबो calculation पई टिके दरकार any doubt anybody any question नहीं समस्त को हे गला contingency table chi square पलिबे क्वेश्चन केमति कैलकुलेट करिवो अच्छा वर्तमान chi square वैल्यू बाहरला परे नेक्स्ट हला you have to look for the table value
सर
and the
मुझे कुछ स्क्रीन पर शो ही नहीं कर रहा है
स्क्रीन शो नहीं कर रहा है क्यों
पता नहीं सर
शो करछि सर शो करछि सर
हां
सर
समस्त
मुझे
शो
नहीं कर रहा है
नहीं मे बी इट्स योर प्रॉब्लम यदि अन्य समस्त की शो करछि मे बी इट्स योर प्रॉब्लम you try to check it screen
sir.
share screen show न कले कैलकुलेशन जानिबा डिफिकल्ट हो क्लासरूम आ ये माने प्रॉब्लम सेटा क्लासरूम रे ब्लैक बोर्ड रे हमें कर दबो ऑनलाइन क्लास गुडा करे पर्टिकुलरली स्टैटिस्टिकल कैलकुलेशन तमे देखो कोठी कोन अछि काई की शो करू तमरो कोन प्रॉब्लम anyway now it is 4.006 is your chi square value obtained chi square value next is your testing the level of significance then only you can say something about this value and for that you have to find out your degrees of freedom what is your degrees of freedom in chi square test contingency table row minus 1 into column minus 1 degrees of freedom formula then how many rows are here anybody how many rows are here
3 rows
3 rows and 3 columns
3 columns
3 rows and 3 columns that means 3 minus 1 into 3 minus 1 3 minus 1 into 3 minus 1 is equal to
4 sir
Here the degrees of freedom is 4. Now you can see the chi-square critical value table either in a book or in online chi-square critical value table or it will be given to you in your question. The critical value with a degrees of 4 is degrees of freedom 4 is this. Then you can say something about. Actually, the critical value with the degrees of freedom 4 is 9.488. If you look at the table, any question about this? In order to check the significance of chi-square value, you have to go for a table in the book, in the backside of any statistics book. There is a table called chi-square value table, critical value table. And in that, with respect to degrees of freedom written, how much minimum value is required to be significant. Here, the minimum required value to be significant at 4 degrees of freedom is 9.488. Table value, you can call it the table value. Table value is 9.488 and your value is 4.006, your obtained value. Do you get that idea? I will be discussing about
Yes, sir.
Now, your value is sort of table value. It is not, it is below the table value. That means when your value is not is below the table value, is less than the table value, then it is not significant. Remember it. When your obtained value is less than the critical value, it is not significant. Or you can say the chi-square result is not significant. You didn't get a significant chi-square result. That could be your assumption. And there is a format for writing this. If it is not significant, I will be discussing that level of significance. Those things are all there in your course. P is less than 0.5. Means this is how you have to report. When you have reported P is less than 0.05, then it is
Sir,
not.
sir, one thing, sir, when obtained value is greater than table value, then significant.
Obtained value is higher than table value, it is significant.
Significant. Okay, sir.
If it is less than the table value, it is not significant. And not significant is to be written like this. I will be telling what is this. P is less than 0.05. When you report P is less than 0.05, then you say that it is not significant. That means your conclusion here about this data is eyedness and handedness. They have no relationship. There is nothing to say that someone is left-handed and therefore he is like this, or someone is left-eyed and therefore he is like this. No, eyedness is independent of handedness. Do you get the idea about this chi-square test? This is called contingency table chi-square test. There are 3 different formats of chi-square test, and this is about the contingency table chi-square test. Anybody, any question? ମୁଁ ତାପରେ theoretical ଜିନିଷ କହିବି chi-square ଅଲଗା ଯାହା ଯାହା ଜିନିଷ କହିବି, but theory will be easier for you because it is there in the book. Calculation will be difficult for you. No question. କାହାର କିଛି ପଚାରିବାର ନାହିଁ? ଆଚ୍ଛା, then now coming to this is one format called contingency table for comparison. Similarly, there can be another situation where you are supposed to use chi-square test. For example, the items in an attitude, I have given you a different research question where you can say how to use chi-square test. The items in an attitude scale answered by underlying one of the following phrases. There is an item and you ask people to answer it by saying whether they strongly approve that statement, only approve but not strongly. They are indifferent, they say I don't know anything about that, or they disapprove, no it is not right, or they strongly disapprove, no it's not at all right. If these 5 statements are given to given as option to a item for attitude measurement. What attitude scale item ku semanku pachara gala je eithare answer karo. And now the distributions of answers up by 100 subjects. 100 ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଦିଆଗଲା ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଲେ. Now, do these answers differ significantly if there are no preferences in the group? ଆମେ ଯଦି କହିବୁ ଯେ ସମସ୍ତେ ତାଙ୍କର ନିଜର ମତାମତ ଦେବେ ଠିକରେ, ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ ସେମାନେ ଦେଲେ, is it a kind of different response? Now, the response distribution is like this. Observed frequency strongly approved 23, approved 18, indifferent 24, disapproved 17, strongly disapproved 18. What is this? It is FO or observed frequency. It will be always there in your question. Question le observed frequency is 80. Now, if this is the question, how to find out the expected frequency? Because the question, the statement of the question is that there is no special preference for any kind of answer. Therefore, it is called an equal distribution probability. Equal distribution probability means in all cells, expected frequency will be equal. If you have 100 total frequency 100, and if you have 5 cells, what will be the expected frequency in each cell? Anybody?
20.
Naturally, 100 by 5 is 100 divided by 5 is 20. Then the expected frequency in each cell is 20. Now, you have to apply the same formula. FO minus FE square by O minus E square by E sigma. ତାକୁ ସେଇ ଫର୍ମୁଲା ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କଲେ ତମେ ପାଇଯିବ. ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ମତେ
Sir,
ଜଣେ
sir,
ଜଣେ
sir, ଗୋଟେ
ଏଠି
question.
କାଢିକିରି କହିଲେ यार एफी केते हबो? सॉरी एफ माइनस एफी स्क्वायर गुटे को
0.45 sir.
कौन कल 23 माइनस 20 स्क्वायर
0.45.
23 माइनस 20 मु टिके देखि दउछ ठीक कल
9 by 20 sir.
So 9 by 20.
9 by 20.45 sir.
हां ठीक है 9 by 20 हां ठीक है.
4.45.
Likewise, you can calculate all these values and finally get your chi-square. And look at its significance. Achha, now, next is another very important but difficult chi-square test. The process is little bit difficult. Particularly difficult in finding out the expected frequency. And this is the situation when you want to test the goodness of fit about a data, set of data. That is, you have a set of frequency distribution and you are asked to test whether the data conforms to the normal probability distribution. Here is a question. ମୁଁ ସବୁଥରେ ଗୋଟେ question ରଖିଦେଇଛି. 350 salesmen have been classified into 5 groups as very good, good, satisfactory, poor, and very poor by a consensus of sales managers. Does this distribution of rating differ significantly from that to be expected if the selling ability is normally distributed in the population? population. If selling ability is normally distributed in the population, then if we have this data, can you say this data confirms the goodness of it to normal distribution? ये डाटा जहाँ अच्छी एटा कन्फर्म करूची कि जे सेलिंग एबिलिटी इज नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. एटा दिस इज अनदर सिचुएशन ऑफ chi-square टेस्ट, and you are likely to get either contingency table or normal distribution table in your examination as a question. Either that or this is equal interval usually will not be set for PG students. Equal interval is for undergraduate students. PG students are expected to get question either this contingency table or normal distribution table. Now, how to find this? Now, observed frequency will be there in the question, but how to find out the expected frequency in the when it is? Anybody having any idea?
Sir, 70, 70 each. Sir,
No,
each
no,
row 70.
it's a normal distribution, equal distribution way. Equal distribution rate 70. The question says that whether the expected if the selling ability is normal distributed. Therefore, you have to have a reference of normal probability curve for this. Normal. Now, let me explain you how to find out. Now, in a normal probability curve, the range of it is a process where you will have to find it out by converting it into Z score. Now, in a normal probability curve, the Z is plus minus 3, means at one end that is plus 3Z, and at other end that is minus 3Z, which covers about 99.67% of the normal probability curve. Then the total Z value in the normal probability curve is 6Z. जेहेतु आगु नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व पढ़िबार अछि, मु वर्तमान तुमको कहूची टिके बी माइंडफुल. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपोर्टेंट कांसेप्ट इन स्टैटिस्टिक्स. नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व. द नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व आनी के देखै दउची. Now, normal probability curve. तमे गोटे माने जदि नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व कोट रही छी फिल्ला माप चलू टिके गोटे मिनिट. Do you have any idea about normal probability curve?
No, sir.
सर गोटे पटे सर माइनस थियो, गोटे पटे प्लस थियो.
हाँ हाँ. अरे मोर कुआडे कोन ये हे गला.
सर मिडिल पोर्शन टा 0, सेपट को -1 -1 -2 -3, एपट साइड +1 +2 +3.
नहीं मोर ये कौन टिके गोटे मिनिट मत आउ थे ये करिया पड़ो. Now, ଆସିଲା ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ରେ ତ
Yes,
ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ରେ
sir.
ଆସିଲା ନା ନାହିଁ?
Yes, sir.
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଶୁଣ ନର୍ମାଲ ପ୍ରୋବାବିଲିଟି ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ବେସିକ୍ ଆଇଡିଆ ଦେଉଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ ନର୍ମାଲ ପ୍ରୋବାବିଲିଟି କର୍ଭଟା ପଢେଇବି ଡିଟେଲରେ ସେତେବେଳେ ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷ କହିବି ତମେ ଏତିକି ଜାଣ ଯେ ନର୍ମାଲ ପ୍ରୋବାବିଲିଟି କର୍ଭରେ in the baseline of MPC the Z value is placed having Z value as a 0 in the middle and -3 towards the left end and +3 towards the right end. अच्छा गोटे जिनस मु करूची यू रिमाइंड मी मु जेतेबेले नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व पढेइबी सेतिकी बेले ए प्रॉब्लम टाको मु तुमको बुझेई देबी कारण नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कर्व रे डिटेल्स न जानिले ये प्रॉब्लम टा करिबा डिफिकल्ट के हैला नाउ लेट अस we have completed chi-square test computation. Now about the theoretical things of chi-square test. Here are lot of things. The chi-square test, the chi-square goodness of fit test, the sampling method is, all those things. Assumptions, particularly chi-square test, important assumptions, theory question padila on chi-square test. These are the materials that you are supposed to write in the theory. Hypothesis formula এই পর্যন্ত যাহা যাহা রয়েছে সেগুড়াক তোমার থিওরিটিক্যাল ডিসকশন রে কাম দেব যদি থিওরি সাঙ্গে প্রবলেম আসিলা ইট ইজ ইয়োর চয়েস যে থিওরি করিব না প্রবলেম করিব যদি প্রবলেম করিব দিস ইজ দ্য ওয়ে মু দুইটা প্রবলেম কহিদেলি the third one is about মানে normal probability distribution সেটা afterwards it is there in your course मु पढ़ेला परे normal distribution मु कहिबी now coming next to another important test non-parametric test and it is called Mann-Whitney U test Mann-Whitney U test कौन है कौन तार तुम जब किसी शेयर करिवार अछि पचरिवार अछि you can ask Mann-Whitney U test in parametric statistics. That is a kind of test, statistical test called t-test. But when we are not eligible to use t-test for limitations of our design and data, we can go for a parallel test in non-parametric statistics, which is called Mann-Whitney U test. Jodi t-test apply kariya pai हमको नहीं we cannot do that then we can go for Mann-Whitney U test and what is that test that Mann-Whitney U test is used to compare two groups in terms of their significance or in terms of their difference. That means whether two groups are significantly different or not. Now, what is that concept of significant difference? Let me tell you first, which is applicable to t-test and also u-test. T-test is parametric and u-test is non-parametric. But both of those tests have similar purpose to compare two groups. Supposing, let me give you a hypothetical example. Supposing someone said that boys are less emotionally intelligent than girls. Supposing someone says a thing like this, girls are more emotionally intelligent than boys. Now, what you can do to prove this idea or prove this assumption? You have to take the emotional intelligence, for example, 100 boys and 100 girls. You take 100 boys, 100 girls and measure. These are the things you need for your submitting the project requirement, internship requirement. एवढा सब दरकार है तमर तुम से अनुसार बुझुता. Now, supposing you want to know this, What you can do? You
अरे
can take
मन्नो
100 by
बैटरी कम है,
हाँ,
मन्नो
what-
चार्जर लगाना पड़ेगा।
Now, supposing you want to have this 100 boys and 100 girls, and you found that the mean emotional intelligence of boys is 50 and of girls is 51. 100 ଜଣ ପୁଅ 100 ଜଣ ଝିଅ ନେଇକିରି ତାଙ୍କର ଇମୋସନାଲ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେନ୍ସ ମାପିକିରି ମିନ୍ ବାହାର କଲ, କାରଣ ମିନ୍ ଟା କମ୍ପେୟାର ହବ। ମିନ୍ ଦେଖିଲା ବେଳକୁ ପୁଅଙ୍କର 50 ଆସିଲା, ଝିଅଙ୍କର 51 ଆସିଲା। Can you say here with this data that the girls are really better than boys? 50 51 କହିପାରିବ ଯେ ଝିଅ ମାନେ ପୁଅ ମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ବେଟର ବୋଲି?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, it's
Okay.
not. You have to say. ଆଚ୍ଛା ମନେକର ବାହାରିଲା 50 53, can you say?
No, sir.
ଆଚ୍ଛା 50 55, can you say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
କେମିତି କାହିଁକି?
Yes, sir.
No.
55.
ନାଇଁ ସେଇ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛ that can be, ତମେ ଯଦି କହିବ 50 ରେ 55 ଟା, ହଁ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଝିଅ ମାନେ ବେଟର, ସେଠି ତମ କଥା ଶୁଣିବ କାହିଁ 53 ରେ କାହିଁ ନୁହଁ 55 ରେ କାହିଁକି ବେଟର? That is not a scientific explanation. That is why you have to go for statistical tests, and if the statistical test between these two is significant, that is t-test. If it is significant, then you can say yes. By just observation of two means, you cannot say anything about their difference. You can have to go for statistical test in order to scientifically comment, yes, girls are different. And in parametric statistics, to compare two groups, you have t-test available. And in non-parametric statistics, you have this Mann-Whitney U-test. And now, how to go about Mann-Whitney U-test? Here is a question. An intelligence test was administered on 12 students each in class 10 of a private school and government school. Compute Mann-Whitney U-test to find out if private government schools have different impact on the intelligence development of children. Supposing private schools claim that we give better facilities for the growth of intelligence among children than government schools, and you as a researcher, you are assigned to test this and say, what you can do, you took some students of private school, tested their intelligence, some from government schools, tested their intelligence, and now you can do some statistical analysis to say whether the claim that non-government or private schools are better than government schools. What you can do, this red portion is the score of 12 students in private schools and 12 students in government schools. ये डाटा रेड रे मुझे देइछे, एटा हला क्वेश्चन बुझेला ना नहीं? In
Yes, sir.
private school,
Yes, sir.
students have secured 24, 25, 21, 22, 23, 18, 17, like that. In government school, like that. Now, you cannot go for parametric statistics or t-test because the data is said to be not in format of normal probability distribution. Therefore, and the sample size is small. When sample size is also small, you cannot go for parametric statistics. That is another assumption. Minimum sample size should have to be 40. Less than 40 sample size, you cannot go for parametric statistics. Therefore, with these limitations, you are supposed to go for non-parametric statistics. And non-parametric statistics available is Mann-Whitney U-test. Now, what to do about Mann-Whitney U-test?
Sir, above
The
40
first thing-
parametric. Above 40 parametric statistics.
हाँ, above 40 नथिले 40 किमा above नथिले parametric statistics use हेई परिबो नाही by assumption. When sample size जो तीनटा advantage हला non-parametrics can be used with low number of sample size or less sample size. can be with ordinal and nominal scale, nominal and ordinal scale, মানে less than interval scale ହେଲେ यूज ହେଇ परिबो ଏବଂ probability distribution non NPC distribution ବାଧ୍ୟତା ନାହିଁ. it is a distribution free statistics. এই জায়গায় গ্রুপ কম্পারিজন করিয়া কইলে যেহেতু আমি বেসিক লিমিটেশন হলা জমা 12টা সবজেক্ট তেনু আমি করি পারিবু নাই. Now if this is your question and you are asked to find out Mann-Whitney U test, Mann-Whitney U, what you have to do? Now, if you can do it at here now tell me, let us do it together. You will have to Now, first of all, you will have to go for a ranking called combined ranking. Combined ranking. You have to convert it to an ordinal scale. Ranking is in ordinal scale. Unless you convert it to an ordinal scale, you cannot go for Mann-Whitney U. So, first of all, you have to go for ranking the data. And the lowest being 1. And that is combined ranking means taken these two sets of data together, you have to rank. And now in both these data, what are the lowest numbers? Lowest number kete?
17, sir.
17.
17, sir.
17. How many 17 are there?
2.
2. That means rank 1 and rank 2 is to be assigned to 17. Rank 1 and rank 2. That means rank 1 plus rank 2 divided by 2, 1.5. 17 will get 1.5 rank. Do you see? 17, 1.5 rank. 17. It all rank A group ranking. It first group ranking. It second group ranking. देखिपारछो ना नहीं 17 रैंक ହେଇଛି ମୁଁ ନାଲି को 17 ର रैंक ହେଲା 1.5 17 ର रैंक ହେଲା 1.5 हे गला बुझियला ना नहीं तापरे नेक्स्ट 5 नंबर केते आसिला
18.
केते का अछि
3.
Sir,
3, sir.
3, sir.
3 ताने 1 2 पळेला ताले 18 कोन रैंक नबो 1 2 कंज्यूम
3, 4, 5.
हैं
3, 4, 5.
3 4 5 अच्छा ताले 3 4 5 तीन जन को दिया गले एवरेज केते दिया जिवे हैं
1.5.
3 4 5 पर
4, sir.
3 4 5.
3 4 5 तीन जन को दिया जिवो 3 टंका 4 टंका
Sir, 12.
टंका तीन जन को मिलके के बाले केते लेके दबो
Sir, 12. 4
हैं
4.
4 3 4 5 4 3 7 12 डिवाइड बाय 3 समस्त 4 पाइबे
3.
ranking 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 3 तीन जन
Yes, sir.
all of them will get 4 तबे देखो सब 18 रे 4 दिया है नहीं 18 4 ये 18 4 18 4 देखि परतो ना नहीं रैंकिंग गुडा को
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा नेक्स्ट नंबर केते
19.
19, sir.
हां 19 केते का छी
गोटे, sir. 1, sir.
Sir,
One.
1. Sir, gote.
पूरा के जाय जाई केरी
Sir, 5 जानि जाइछि 6 आसीबो एटा त 6 हबो
5.
Sir, 6,
6.
19 6 बुझियला ना नहीं रैंकिंग ता परटा कोन
20.
20.
20 केतेटा अछि
Sir, 20 sir. 2 days sir.
Two.
Two.
2 ଯାଇଛି କଣ rank?
Sir, 7.5
Six ଯାଇଛି।
7.5 sir.
6 ଯାଇଛି ହେରି 7 8 7.5 20 7.5 20 ହେଲା।
Yes sir।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ହଁ ତାପରେ ଏଇ ଭଳିଆ ତାପରେ next
21.
21।
Sir, 20 answer sir. 3 sir.
କେତେ ଅଛି?
3
9, 10, 11.
3.
3.
ତିନିଟା ଅଛି 21 9 10 11 ହଁ 9 10 11 ହେଲେ 10 ଆସିବ average
Yes. Yes, sir. 10.
9 10 11 ହେଲେ 10 divided by 3 10
30 by 3 ଆଉ।
ହଁ 30 by 3 ତାପରେ ଆସିଲା 21 ପରେ
22।
22.
କେତେଟା ଅଛି?
Sir, ଗୋଟେ sir.
1, sir.
1.
ଗୋଟିଏ 9 10
One.
11 ଯାଇ ତାର କେତେ ହବ?
12.
12। 12।
ତାପରେ 22 ପରେ
23। 23।
23 sir. 4ଟା ଅଛି।
କେତେଟା?
23।
4ଟା ଅଛି sir.
4ଟା ଅଛି sir. 14 15
ଚାରିଟା କୁହ କଣ rank ହବ?
14 15
12 ଯାଇଛି ହେରି
13, 14, 15.
16.
କୁହ କଣ ହବ?
Sir, 14.5.
ହଁ
14.5 sir.
14.5.
କେମିତି ମ? ହଁ 14 ହଁ ଠିକ
I
ଅଛି
14.5.
ତ 23 ହେଲେ 12 ଗଲା ହେରି 13
Divided by 2 sir.
ହଁ 13 14 15 16
Yes sir.
divided by 4.5 ঠিক ଅଛି আচ্ছা now do you under all of you this is an important ସମସ୍ତେ ବୁଝିଲା ନା ନାହିଁ କେମିତି ranking କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Yes sir।
ଟିକେ ଗୋଟେ ମିନିଟ
बाकी मैंने ठीक है माइक ऑफ कर दिया यार सुबह जाऊंगी ठीक है
ହଁ anything any question ହେଇଗଲା ranking ସବୁ ବୁଝିଗଲ ନା ନାହିଁ?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir।
Now the next step is sigma R1. All these are to be added. ଏ ସବୁ rank ମିଶିବ। ଏ क्वेश्चन ତାର ସ୍କ୍ରିନଶଟ ସବୁ क्वेश्चन ଗୁଡା ନେଇକିରି ନିଜେ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରିଦବ। ତାପରେ ଏ rank ମିଶିବ sigma R1 172 ଚେକ୍ କରିଦବ। sigma R2 128. Any doubt about that question? About this?
No, sir.
Now you have to find out the u by this formula. In case of u, you have to find out 2 u values and the smaller one will be accepted. Is the actual u. You find out, use this formula and find out u1 and u2. ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଦେଖଉନି ମୋ calculation. ସମସ୍ତେ ବାହାର କର। u1 ବାହାର କର u2 ବାହାର କର। u1 is equal to n1 n2. n1 କେତେ ଏଠି?
12.
12. n2 is also 12. केते U1 बाहरला केते U2 बाहरला को मते
सर सर यूटा सर टिके आउ थे कहि देबे सर टिके
को यूटा तो मैं कोन U1 बाहरिनी तमे एक रैंकिंग बुझलो ना नहीं
आज्ञा सर
रैंकिंग केमति होबो बुझलो तो
आज्ञा सर आज्ञा रैंकिंग टे क्लियर
बर्तमान U1 बाहर करे पे ई फार्मूला रे बाहर करो
सर माइनस 124
minus 124
Sir, U1 is 50.
64.
Sir, U1 50.
154.
U2 केते
सर 50
U1
आज्ञा
सुनो
सर
U1 हला 50 U2 हला 94 तमे एति की कैलकुलेशन कर करू
सर ठीक है सर
12 into 12 plus 12 into 13 by 2
plus 1 by 2 minus 1.
is equal to 174 plus 78 minus 172 is equal to 50.
Equal to 50. Critical value 27.
देखो हम कह दूँ 12 into 12 कितने
144.
144
144 it all 12 into 13 by 2 12 divided by 2 6 13 into 6 78
78
144 plus 78 minus R1
minus
R1 is
172
172 144 plus 78 minus 172 is equal to 50
जाहिर
बुझेला ना नहीं
yes sir
Yes, sir.
सर
and U2 is 94 calculation करी देखिबो and
Sir,
in
ହେଇଗଲା?
fact the हाँ हुआ
ହେଇଗଲା ବାହାରି ଗଲା
वर्तमान the value the less U value is to be accepted as the real U value which one is less U1 or U2
you want
1.
U1.
U1 that means finally U is 50 now you go to the U table to see the critical value and the critical value is 27 with the you have देखिए पहले N1 N2 दुईटा से टेबल में थिबो गोटे पटे N1 गोटे पटे N2 तमे क्रिटिकल वैल्यू देखिया पे चाहिए you can have in your mobile you can see also critical value for you critical value table for you बाहर कर देले मोबाइल ले देखि दबो टेबल टा से टेबल देखिले तमे जानि परिबो and the required critical value is 27 and your value is केते
50
50
56
significant or not significant
सर सिग्निफिकेंट सर
when your value is higher it is significant therefore here you have to write p is less than 0.05 एतिकी रिपोर्टिंग करिवो p is less than 0.05 means there is a difference यार अर्थ कोन हला ना प्राइवेट स्कूल आउ गवर्नमेंट स्कूल यांक भितरे पिला मानक भितरे इंटेलिजेंस रो तफात रहउची कहार भितरे इंटेलिजेंस रहउची जार रैंकिंग अधिका कहार रैंकिंग अधिका प्राइवेट ना गवर्नमेंट
private
private.
Private.
172 ରହୁଛି ତାର 128 ରହୁଛି ତାମାନେ the claim that private schools have better facilities for intelligence development is right. ବୁଝି ହେଲା ନା ନାଇଁ ଟୋଟାଲ ମାନ ହୁଇଥ ନେଇୟୁ
ସାର୍ ଟେବୁଲ ଟାରୁ କେମିତି ବାହାର କରିବା ଟିକେ ଜାଣି ହେଲାନି ସାର୍।
ସାର୍ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଟା କେମିତି ବାହାର କଲେ?
କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟା ତମେ ତମର ମୋବାଇଲ ମାନେ ଏଇଟା ରଖିକିରି ଲେଖ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟେବୁଲ ଫର ମାନ ହୁଇଥ ନେଇୟୁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ବାହାର କରୁଛୁ ସାର୍।
ବାହାର କରିକିରି ଦେଖ 0.05 ରେ ଏପଟେ ତମର ଏନ୍ ଦେଖ 12 and 12 ଦିପଟ ସାଇଡ ରେ ଅଛି ନା ନାଇଁ ଏନ୍
ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍।
ହଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଏପଟେ
ସାର୍।
ବାହାରକୁ ଯାଅ ସେପଟେ ବାହାରକୁ ଯାଅ
ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍।
କେତେ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି
27 ସାର୍।
ହଁ ବାର କୋଉଠୁ ଆସିଲା ଜାଣିପାରିଲ ତ
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ନମ୍ବର ଅଫ ପର୍ସନ
ହଁ କେସ୍ ଅଛି ଏନ୍
ନମ୍ବର ଅଫ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ।
ଆଇଦର ମୋବାଇଲରୁ ଦେଖିକିରି ବାହାର କରିପାରିବ ନହେଲେ ତମେ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟେବୁଲ ସବୁ ବହିରେ ଅଛି
ସାର୍ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଟେବୁଲ ଏକ୍ସାମ କୁ ନେଇକି ଯିବୁ।
ନା ଦିଟା ଜିନିଷ that is one choice is ସେମାନେ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟେବୁଲ ତମକୁ ଦେଖେଇବେ ଖାଲି ବୁଲେଇକି କିନ୍ତୁ that is not happening nowadays ତେଣୁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କଣ ହଉଛି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଯୋଉମାନେ ପକେଇବେ ସେମାନେ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟା ଲେଖି ଦେଇଥିବେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
27 ବୋଲି 12 ବି ଲେଖିଦବା କଥା ଯଦି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ରେ ନ ପଡିଲା କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ତାହେଲେ ତମେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଫାଇନାଲ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିକେସନ ଟା କରିପାରିବ ଦିଟା ବାଟ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ଆଇଦର ସେମାନେ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟେବୁଲ ତମକୁ ଦେଖେଇବେ ଯୋଉ ଏ ତ ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକ୍ସ ନୁହଁ ନା ବହୁତ ପ୍ରକାରର ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକ୍ସ ଅଛି ତେଣୁ ଆଜିକାଲି କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଟେବୁଲ ନ ଦେଖିକିରି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ରେ ବ୍ରାକେଟ ଭିତରେ ଲେଖି ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ଟେବୁଲ କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ ଟେବୁଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ 27 সেটা ମୁଁ କହିବି ପୁଣି 0.05 ଅଛି 0.01 ଅଛି সেটা ମୁଁ ପରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲେଭେଲ ଅଫ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାନ୍ସ ଅଛି ବୁଝେଇବା ପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ବୁଝେଇବି କିନ୍ତୁ ଏତିକି ଜାଣିଥାଉ ଗଲା any question about man with me you ଏଟା ଫର୍ମୁଲା ତମେ ଯାହା ପାରୁଛ ତମର ମାନେ ଇଏ ନେଇଯାଅ
Sir, how did you write that P is less than 0.05?
That is an important question and I will be do you need that I should discuss it today
Sir, it is as per you. If it is
anyway let me also finish that part someday or other I will have to discuss it and this is called now let me discuss this concept and this concept is called level of significance level of significance means whatever statistical value you obtained to what extent it is significant to justify the research hypothesis that means and it is required for all kinds of statistics whether you are doing parametric non-parametric whatever statistics you are doing you have to refer it to the level of significance and what is that supposing about this claim let us discuss this claim that private school and government school claims that they are giving better facilities for intelligence development of children than government school. This is the claim. And you are the professional person to give a report on that. ତମକୁ କୁହାଗଲା ଯେ ପ୍ରକୃତରେ ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ସ୍କୁଲ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେନ୍ସ ତାଙ୍କ ପିଲାମାନେ ବେଶୀ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେଣ୍ଟ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଏଟା ସତ ନା ନାହିଁ ତମେ କ'ଣ କରିବ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ଦବ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେନ୍ସ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ଦେଲ ଯେମିତି ଆମେ 12 ଜଣ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଦେଇଛୁ ତମେ 500 ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଦେଇପାରିବ and after you give the test of intelligence then you go for this man with me you test now what your result pointed out that yes private schools have better scope for intelligence development of children than government schools now someone will ask you challenge you can you give an 100% assurance about this thing ମୁଁ ମନେକର ତମେ ଏଇ ରେଜଲ୍ଟ କହିଲା ପରେ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ପଚାରିଲି can you give me 100% guarantee about your conclusion? What you can say? Can you say it is 100% right? No.
Yes, sir.
Nothing is 100% correct. That is an assumption of science. Whenever anything scientific said, you just cannot claim that it is 100%. That is why, and particularly more so in social sciences. In any matter, you can give a 100% guarantee or assurance. That is why the social scientists have given you some scope to have some error. Means they have fixed that you can have accepted level of errors. Two levels, one 1% level and second 5% level. That means if you claim that this is the non-government, if your claim is non-government students have better intelligence than the government student, and when you write this thing, P is less than whatever, P is less than 0.5, you communicate that whatever I say, it is at least 95% true. P means probability of error. I accept that I may have error, but that is less than 5%. And research community or scientific community will accept it. 5% ରୁ ଅଧିକା error ଯଦି ତମର admission ରେ ରହୁଛି ତାହେଲେ ସେଟା accepted. And another level is P is less than 0.01. That means you say that I accept that I may have a 1% error, but 99% is true. That thereby you convince the community that yes, this is right. And they have said that if you have more than 5% error, then your finding is not conclusive and it will not be accepted. This is a standard being fixed by the research community. तमे जहा करो 5% एरर बा 5% रु कम एरर थिले हम तो एक्सेप्ट करिवो एज ट्रूथ. जदि एठी p is greater than 5 हे थांता 0.5 हे थांता ए चिन्हटा जदि बदली जाई थांता ताले तमे क्लेम करि परिबोनी जे this non-government, private school is better than government school. Scientifically, you cannot say this because the research community will not accept it.
The probability is greater than habo. The probability is greater than habo. Seta insignificant habo.
Seta kon habo?
Insignificant.
Insignificant and hypothesis is not accepted. P is greater than 0.5 means insignificant.
Sir, how did we calculate, sir, it is greater or lower from this question?
For this question now, in order another important thing I am also telling you, your critical table value is 27 at 0.05 level of significance. That means if your obtained value is more than this, 80 ଟିକେ ପିଲାମାନେ confuse କରନ୍ତି. If your obtained value is more than this, then it is significant. Obtained value is significant. That means significant means error is less. P is less than 0.05. Do you get my point? You need critical value of 20, value of 27 Q value to be significant, and your value is higher. तुमको गोटे जिनिस किनिबा पई 27 टंका दरकार पडुची तुम पाखरे 50 टंका अछि किनि परिबो ना नहीं?
Yes, sir. Can परिबो.
हां सेति पई तमरो मिनिमम रिक्वायर्ड वैल्यू इज 27 and you have your table calculated value is 50. That means significant. Significant means P is less. P means error. Error is less than 0.5. Eight पिला confused करते हैं. ସେଇଟା ତ
So why
ବଢିଲା
not
ଏଇଟା ତ
0.01? Sir, why not here we can write 0.01?
Yes, you can write 0.01. But for that, you have to find out the critical value at 0.1. टेबुल रे देखिବାକୁ पड़िबो 0.1 रे क्रिटिकल वैल्यू केते. 0.1 वैल्यू आटू बेसी होबो ना कम होबो.
Sir, it will be higher, I think.
Higher. For all critical value 0.1 0.1 value is higher than 0.5 value. I mean, if you have a higher value, supposing the critical value of 0.1 is 39, then what I should write? कौन लिखिबी
P
P
is less than 0.01.
हाँ
Less than.
is less than 0.01 लिखा हो.
The result will be more significant, sir. Right?
हाँ yes.
Because the error will be
it
hardly
will be more
1%.
authentic. It will be more authentic. तेणु आमको जदि 0.1 level significant available अच्छी, ताले we should go for that, not 0.5. जदि 0.1 available हो नहीं, supposing आमो इथी ए value टा हला 35, 15 होइकरी 35, ताले मु कोन करिबी कोन लिखिबी ऑप्शन?
The probability is less than 0.01.
एटा 35 अछि, critical value हला 39, 0.1 रे.
Sir, results are not significant. We cannot find
significant.
out.
No. तमु मु जहा कहूची बुझ. एठी दीटा critical value 27, 0.5 रे, 39, 0.1 रे. And your obtained value is 35. वर्तमान मत को एटा कोन लेखा हबो? Anybody?
Sir, P is less than 0.5 level.
कोन लेखा हबो? अन्य माने को एठी 0 P is less than 0.1 available की? No, because
No, sir.
P
No,
is
sir.
0.1 39 हवा दरकार है. 39 होउनी, 35 रे अछि.
The P is greater than it.
किछि ग्रेटर देन हबनी. ए कांसेप्ट ता टिके क्लियरली बुझो. सुनो, तमे तमरो critical obtained value is 35. First, you have to see whether this obtained value is significant at 0.1 level or not. प्रथम first choice. कारण 0.1 level is more guarantee, 99% guarantee. तमे 99% guarantee देई पारुचो ना नाही से कथा आगो देखिबो. तेणु तमरो obtained value हला 35. 0.1 रे required value हला 39. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
नानी yes sir ने मत उत्तर दियो. 0.1 रे देई पारिबो की 35
No,
टका
sir.
अछि तम पाखरे.
No, sir, we cannot.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Cannot.
कारण तम पाखरे 35 टका अछि जिनसटा दाम 39 टका किनि पारिबो?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
0.1 रे तमे देई पारिबो नाही. फर्स्ट चॉइस उडी गला. 90 पर 99 गारंटी देई पारिबोनी. नेक्स्ट चॉइस इज 95 रे देई पारिबी की?
Yes, sir, we can give.
हाँ काना 95 पे केते दरकार है 27 तमर अछि 35 तनु 95 रे गारंटी देई पारिबो ताले एटा कोन एक्जेक्टली लेखा हबो जदि एटा 35 हेता है
Less than
P
0.5.
is less than 0.05 level.
0.05 एटा हला आंसर जदि सपोजिंग एटा 25 आंसर कोन लेखा हबो
0.1.
कोन पुनी 0.1
नहीं 0.1.
Insignificant है जो sir.
Sir,
कौन
insignificant है
difficult
जो.
Sir,
है?
P great. P value is greater than
ମୁଁ ତମକୁ
0.05.
ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରିଛି, ମୁଁ ଯାହା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରିଛି ତମେ ମାନେ ଦେଇପାରିବ କି 0.1 ରେ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାଣ୍ଟ ବୋଲି?
नो सर।
नो, କାରଣ 39 ଦରକାର, ତମର 25 ଅଛି। 0.5 ରେ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାଣ୍ଟ ଦେଇପାରିବ କି?
0.5 ରୁ ନାହିଁ सर।
No, sir.
नो, ତାହେଲେ ଦିଟା ଆଗରେ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାଣ୍ଟ ନ ଦେଲେ
P is greater than।
P is greater than 0.05, that are not significant। 5% ରୁ ଏରର ଅଧିକା।
सर एटा हमें ये जो कैलकुलेशन टा हमें ठीक अछि कि भूल अछि, हमें सर क्रॉस चेक करिया पे सर u प्लस u1 प्लस u2 इज इक्वल टू n1 into n2 कर देले जदि समान अछि ताल ठीक अछि, कैलकुलेशन हम जानि परिया बोधे।
कोनटा
ये कैलकुलेशन हमें ठीक अछि ना नहीं, u प्लस u1 प्लस u2 इज इक्वल टू n1 into n2। जदि u1 सर u1 प्लस u2 रो वैल्यू जति अछि ता संगे रे n1 into n2 रो वैल्यू जति सेति रहिला ताला हम एटा ठीक अछि बोले हम जानिया।
नहीं माने तमरो ए जो रैंकिंग रो नहीं, ता भीतर पुणी गोटे कांसेप्ट आसी जाउची पेयर्ड रैंकिंग, बुझि परछ ना नहीं?
सर एठे धर जे u1 अछि, u1 हमर सर पहिला
नहीं तमे कोन कहउछ u1 50 u2 94,
u2 94, 50 प्लस 94 इज इक्वल टू 12 into 12। तो 50 प्लस 94 इज इक्वल टू 144, 12 into 12 इज इक्वल टू 144।
नहीं तमे माने u1 u2 से तो टोटल रैंकिंग रो टोटल आसीबो ता रैंकिंग से तो मल्टीप्लाइड हेकि बाहर दी पटे u1 u2 रे 12 into 12 मल्टीप्लाइड इट्स ए फ्रैक्शन, 12 into 12 रो फ्रैक्शन रो बाहर छि से दीटा को मिसिकरी 12 into 12 हबो। सेटा तमे माने आंसर चेक करिया पे कोन दरकार कहउछ टोटल का तमे तम कैलकुलेशन भूल अछि कि ठीक अछि जानिया पे?
ठीक अछि, बस सर।
हां कैलकुलेशन भूल अछि, टोटल रैंकिंग 12 into 12 रो 94 प्लस 50 मिसी गल तो हे गला कोन
सेउटा मु कहू सर।
हां सेइटर किछि माने ये नै, तम तो रैंक दीटा फेडा हिछि ना, टोटल 12 into 12 रो रैंक दीटा जेतु फेडा हिछि सेटा मिसे गल पुनी सेया हबो कोन आंसर चेक करिया पे
आइए
आंसर चेक कर हां मिसे देला हो किछि असुविधा। बर्तन बुझिलो ना नहीं एटा 50 एटा 27 नाउ आउ गुटे अछि मु सारी दे परबी, जदि आज सारी दियंती ताले नॉन पैरामेट्रिक रो ना आउ कोन करबा। अच्छा नै कांसेप्ट गुडा को क्लियर कर दबा, आउ कोन पचरिबार अछि मु देखुची। तमरो ये ताको खोली करी कोर्स खोली करी यूनिट 1 ना वर्तमान तमरा जो यूनिट 1 ताको खोली करी मु ये कली पैरामेट्रिक नॉन पैरामेट्रिक कॉन्सेप्ट गुडा सब मु कहि देली, असम्पशंस ऑफ पैरामेट्रिक एंड नॉन पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स एगुडा एक्चुअली तमे पढिबा कथा, पढी कि जदि कोठी कोन जिंस आसिला कैलकुलेशन सब मु कहि देली। नेक्स्ट इज अच्छा यूनिट 2 देखिबा कोन अछि ब्लॉक 2 Now, about block 2. Block 2 रे तमरो अछि descriptive and inferential statistics. Parametric, non-parametric, parametric
Sir,
and
it's block.
non-parametric.
Sir, it's block 1, unit 2.
Sorry. Block 1, unit 2. तमरो अछि descriptive and inferential statistics. जो थेरे कि तमरा आसीबो लार्जली आमे तार पठै देले माने नॉन पैरामेट्रिक पढ़ै देले पैरामेट्रिक रे इन्फरेंशियल स्टैटिस्टिक्स बहुत अछि आसीबो तमर टी टेस्ट आनोभा कोन अछि रिग्रेशन कोन अछि म ताको पढेबी डेस्क्रिप्टिव रे तमरा आसीबो मेजर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी एंड मेजर्स ऑफ वेरिएबिलिटी दीटा जिंस आसीबो मेजर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी मीन मीडियन मोड measures of variability, average deviation, quartile deviation, standard deviation, and range. तुमको actually these things should have to be your prior knowledge. एगुड़ा के जानिबा कथा तमे आउ ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ए सब जिंस विषय रे आईडिया अछि ना नहीं मीन कोन मीडियन कोन
Yes,
मोड
sir.
कोन
Yes,
सर
sir.
नहीं आइडिया है
हैं
आई
अच्छा सुनो मीन मीडियन मोड मु टिके खाली कहि दउ तापर मीन मीडियन मोड किंतु कैलकुलेट हबो सेगुडा को जणा अछि ना नहीं
Yes, sir.
स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन सेगुडा को पढी दबो एक्चुअली जेति कि क्लास टाइम भितरे ताको सब सारीबा संभव नहीं जोगुडा को टिके तम पई डिफिकल्ट आ रिक्वायर्ड मु सेति कि पढेबी मीन मीडियन मोड रो कैलकुलेशन मीन स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन कैलकुलेशन एगुडा को सब तुमको टिके निजे कैलकुलेशन गुडा को करियक पड़िबो हला ई अच्छा मु खाली देखि दिए तमरा माने आजिरो ब्लॉक 1 टर आउ कोन रहला यूनिट 3 सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी गला ब्लॉक 1 यूनिट 2 ब्लॉक 1 यूनिट 3 टाइप 1 टाइप 2 एरर एटा माजी कहि दोछि हला नाउ in the conceptual info खाली कहि दोछि what is type 1 type 2 error now when type 1 and type 2 errors are two different kinds of errors in hypothesis testing अच्छा supposing जो प्रॉब्लम का हमें कले प्राइवेट स्कूल और गवर्नमेंट स्कूल प्राइवेट स्कूल और गवर्नमेंट स्कूल विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू इंटेलिजेंस हला now I am giving you a hypothetical situation. Supposing we know that cancer is an uncurable disease. You know that, nahi? And a doctor claims that he has developed a medicine to cure cancer. And now you have been assigned as a researcher to verify the truth of the statement given by the doctor. Then what you will do? You will visit the doctor. You will see his patients attending to that doctor and how many patients are getting cured. Supposing you observed that out of 100 patients, 40 patients are getting cured by the medicine of the doctor, and 60% patients are not getting cured. What is the rate of error in doctor's claim? केते एरर कला तार रेट ऑफ एरर केते 100 जनरे हैं
60%, sir.
60% error. There is 60% error in doctor's claim. What you will do? Whether you will give, if you follow the orthodox research method, what you will tell about the doctor? Will you give credit to the doctor that he is able to cure cancer patients?
No, sir.
No. Can by orthodox methodology, you are only allowed to give 5% error. যদি 95% ଭଲ ହୋଇଥାନ୍ତେ ତମେ କହିଥାନ୍ତ ଯେ ଡାକ୍ତର ଠିକ ଔଷଧ ଦଉଛି ଭଲ କରୁଛି, ଯଦି 95 ଜଣ ଭଲ ହେଇଯାଇଥାନ୍ତେ। ଯେହେତୁ 40 ଜଣ ଭଲ ହଉଛନ୍ତି, 60 ଜଣ ଭଲ ହଉନାହାନ୍ତି, ତମେ କହିବ ନାଇଁ, the doctor's claim is wrong. But the other side of the fact is that cancer is an uncurable disease, and other medicines can only treat or cure 10%, 90% are not being cured by the other medicines. The doctor has 40% cure rate. That means although the doctor's claim has a 60% error, but it is a truth. Because of your research method, rigid methodology, you are not accepting the truth. Truth is the objective of research. That means you are committing an error. And that is, you are committing type 2 error. Means, type 1 error, type 2 error hala, when a research hypothesis, true research hypothesis is rejected, it is type 2 error. When a false research hypothesis is accepted, it is type 1 error. That is what is type 1, type 2 error. एठी तमे गोटे ट्रू रिसर्च हाइपोथेसिस को डॉक्टर केस रे रिजेक्ट कर देलो, you are committing an error. That I will discuss afterwards in details. तेणु तमे टिके निजको थियोरेटिकल जिंस मु नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी नॉन पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स विषय कहितली आ गोटे खाली रही गला सेटा आ टाइम परमिट करिवनी ना देख कहि देबी गोटे काम छिंदे दम।
Sir,
हां
sir, as you said that we are rejecting the hypothesis on the basis of traditional method because the error is more than 60%. So this is a type 2 error.
I'm telling you exactly what is that. Whenever we are saying testing some hypothesis, the type 1 and type 2 errors are related to testing hypothesis. And when we are testing hypothesis, we have two consecutive hypotheses, one called null hypothesis, one called research hypothesis. For example, when the private schools claim that they have better scope for intelligence development, here the null hypothesis is that there is no better scope in private college or there is no difference in intelligence between private and government school students. That is null hypothesis. Research hypothesis hela private school students have better intelligence than government school students. Dita hypothesis rahila.
जोटा में कौन alternative hypothesis?
हाँ, alternative or research hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis and research hypothesis. But truth is truth. Sometimes due to our research methodological processes, we reject a true research hypothesis as untrue. गोटे प्रकृत रे प्राइवेट स्कूल पिला बेटर किंतु आम रिसर्च रे बाहरिला नहीं से माने बेटर नुहे. That means by the process of research we committed an error. Truth
So this is type 2. This is type 2 error, sir.
हाँ सेमती बेले बेले गोटे ट्रूथ नुहे प्रकृत रे प्राइवेट स्कूल पिला बेटर नुहंती किंतु आमे रिसर्च प्रोसेस रे कहि देलु से माने बेटर. तामाने accepting a wrong false null a false research hypothesis तेणु दीटा एरर गोटे accepting a false null research hypothesis is an error or rejecting a true null hypothesis true hypothesis is error तबे दीटा बाटरे डिफाइन करि पाबा null hypothesis कहि कि मध्य accepting a false null hypothesis or rejecting a false null hypothesis these are two types of error same or accepting a false research hypothesis or rejecting a true research hypothesis. These are the two kinds of type 1 and type 2 error. Errors in hypothesis. These are called errors in hypothesis testing. Type 1 and type 2 error. गोटे null hypothesis true, आमे ताको reject कर देलु. Truth ताको reject कला माने error. गोटे null hypothesis false, आमे ताको accept कर देलु. That is also error. Rejecting true error, rejecting false, accepting false error. One is type 1 error, one is type 2 error. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now for this, तमे जदि practice करिया कथा कर देबो आउ वर्तमान आउ गोटे जिंस रहलाम जदि हबो नॉन पैरामेट्रिक रो खाली मते अच्छा तमे व्हाट यू वांट जो प्रॉब्लम गुडा को मो कान तमर प्रॉब्लम ही डिफिकल्ट हबो थ्योरी तो कोन पढि दबो बुझि दबो केतोडे प्रॉब्लम जोडा के इंपोर्टेंट मु सोडा को करि देबी भाबुच इज इट ओके फॉर यू
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
केतोडे ये तो सहज प्रॉब्लम आगु टिके डिफिकल्ट प्रॉब्लम अछि सोडा के तमे न बुझैले तमे ठीक रे करि परिबनी प्रॉब्लम पार्ट इज मोर इंपोर्टेंट देन थ्योरी पार्ट थ्योरी तो तमे बही अछि कोन जदि पचारिबो बुझै देबी किंतु जति कि समय ता भितरे किछि पार्ट ऑफ द थ्योरी एंड पार्ट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस हला इट्स ओवर फॉर टुडे बाय
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir. Sir, namaste, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
नमस्कार
जदि किछि डिफिकल्टीज रहउछि शेयर करियो
Yes,
सर
sir.
जो काई स्क्वायर टेस्टेड रहा जो नोट टा टिके सर शेयर करियो कि
हां हां दे दे से नोट फॉर
Yes,
सब
sir.
दे दे या
Thank you, sir.
आज आउ दोनी मु एकाठी केतोडे नोट दे देबी आज
Okay, sir.
मोर आउ द क्लास
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.